endurance sport. Its motto, anything is possible, represent discipline, resilience, and excellence. And Colombo is ready to host the standard again through an event that is precise, safe, and athlete focused, and proudly Sri Lankan in its hospitality. And at its core, Ironman 70.3 Colombo is a simple and iconic event. You swim 1.9 kilometers, you bike 90 kilometers, and then you run 21.1 kilometers. But what that distance represents is far bigger. It represents a personal transformation for our athletes and collective capability for the whole city. Because delivering an Ironman race is just not about the sport, it is about leadership, coordination, and execution at scale. And this is where Ironman effect matters. Ironman presence in Colombo signals to the world that this city and the country that can host experiences at the highest international standard. It elevates Colombo's destination brand and creates a global story that blends tourism, investor confidence, and civic pride. It brings international athletes and their families into the heart of our capital, turning the city into a living showcase. Our streets, our coastline, our hospitality, and our service culture. It creates a momentum around healthy living and community participation, and it inspires the next generation to believe global sport belongs here too. Put simply, when Ironman comes into a town, it does more than bring a race. It brings a reputational lift, a spotlight, and a benchmark. That benchmark pushes all of us, organizers, agencies, partners, and community to operate at a higher level. And I think that is a good thing for Colombo and for Sri Lanka. As organizers, our job is to build trust. Trust with athletes who travel long distances, travel with partners who invest their brand, and trust with government and public agencies who safeguard the city. That trust comes from planning, compliance, and collaboration. And that is exactly what we are building. We are encouraged by the spirit of cooperation already in motion across Colombo through high-level interagency approach, coordinated closely with all key stakeholders. When city aligns institutions around one shared objective, a world-class delivery, it sends a clear message to the world. Colombo can host, Colombo can perform, Colombo can welcome. This is why we have framed this event with an even bigger vision, Active Colombo. Active Colombo is more than a hashtag. It is a leadership idea that Colombo can be positioned as a destination for healthy living, international partnership, and modern urban experience where investment, tourism, community life intersect. And Ironman event is a global window into that vision. But let me be very clear, the real differentiator of Ironman 70.3 Colombo has never been just about the race course. The true signature event is the human experience, the care athletes feel from our people, Sri Lankans. Those who remember our earlier edition will remember the volunteers, the extraordinary citizens became extraordinary ambassadors of the city and the country. The volunteers who stood in the heat for hours, offering encouragement, water, direction, something uniquely Sri Lankan, kindness with pride. That spirit is not a small detail. It is a strategic advantage of this city and our nation. Because in the global sports tourism, athletes don't only return for the finish line, they return for a feeling, and Colombo can deliver that feeling. Tonight, I want to acknowledge a group that often sits behind quietly in the background, yet has become one of the most inspiring parts of our journey. our team, especially the interns. I don't know where they are, but they are working somewhere. They have gone over and beyond, working in a totally uncharted territory. None of them had any background, taking on responsibility. Even the most experienced professionals at some time struggle to navigate a complex global event delivery. They have learned fast, adopted faster, shown a level of ownership and commitment that speaks to the future Sri Lanka's capability. In every complex project, there are moments where plan meet reality. And in those moments, it is the character, not your job titles, that carries the work through. Our team have shown that character. So thank you so much. We also celebrate our partnerships because no great event is built alone. Our growing ecosystem of partners and supporters, your backing is not simply branding. It is nation building through experience. And importantly, this event is not just for elite athletes. It is for families, communities, and future generations. That is why Ironman Week is designed as a festival of participation, starting with Kaya Wellness and Lifestyle International Expo, to the community engagement, to our children's event, Iron Kids, where the young Sri Lankans can experience courage, movement, joy in a safe and inspiring environment. If we want a healthier nation and a stronger sporting culture, we must create moments where children see possibility and where parents see city investing in their well-being. So what do we ask of leaders and our partners? We ask you to see Ironman 70.3 Colombo as a strategic asset, a catalyst for destination positioning, a model for public-private collaboration, and a driver of community pride and volunteerism, and a proof that Sri Lanka can host experiences that meet or surpass global expectation. And we ask you to help us carry one simple message clearly and consistently to the world. Sri Lanka is open. Colombo is ready, and you will come back for more. The work ahead is detailed, it is demanding, and it is absolutely worth it because what we deliver will be remembered long after the race day. Let us lead with excellence, execute with discipline, and welcome the world with the best of who we are. And now I want to take a moment to take you through what to expect on the race day, just to showcase. So the event starts at 6:25 with a 1.9 kilometer swim. So the swim takes place inside the port city breakwater. So it is a very safe water for people to swim. And we have a world-class team supported by Navy and our life-saving association and our swimming community to execute a very safe swim, meeting the world's highest standard. Once the athlete finishes their swimming, they will get on to the cycling. So cycling, they will do a small section inside the port city, and then they will come out of port city and they will do a loop around the Beira Lake. And the design of this course is just not about cycling. It is about showcasing the transformation the city has gone through. The city still has the history and the character, and we are trying to capture through this course design. And from after that little loop, they go towards Kolpiti Junction, and from there they turn to the Marine Drive, and there they have a beautiful ride up and down Marine Drive, and then they will return back to Port City, and like that they will do 3 laps to complete the 90 kilometer cycling. And once they finish the 90 kilometer cycling, they will get on to the run leg. So run leg, it is one of the most scenic run legs that I have seen. I have competed in these races all over the world, but simply this is one of the most stunning run courses out there. And athletes will do 2 laps and they will finish the race at the Port City Marina Promenade to, I mean, the promenade will be converted into a real carnival atmosphere come 22nd February 2026. And I just wanted to take you through the event venue. So if you look at the map, you can see where the race happens. That is the green line. So that is the start of the race. And then you can see the blue line, which is the cycling, and the red line, which is the running. And so you can see where the start line, the finish line, where the athletes will recover, where they get all the medical attention. And after the race, there is a beautiful ceremony where the roll down ceremony. So Ironman 70.3 Colombo, it is a world championship qualifying race. We have 50 slots, 25 for male and 25 slots for women, and they will get qualification slot based on their performance to participate at the Ironman 70.3 championships in Nice, France, and followed by the award ceremony and a beautiful after party at the beach side. So I really look forward to everyone's support and everyone's presence at this beautiful event. And I look forward to welcoming you with open arms on 22nd February as we take Colombo to the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rajan. I think this is why I mentioned he is an athlete who has taken part in these races. He knows what it feels like to run, to ride, to swim, and understand the needs an athlete might need while the race is going through. So, as you saw, ladies and gentlemen, the race is meticulously planned to ensure that the safety of the athletes are well kept while also promoting this beautiful country that is ours. Now, alongside Mr. Rajan, there's another individual who has come into play to bring this forth, to bring this race forth. The way I know him and the way that a lot of us Sri Lankans or the youth of Sri Lanka knows him is as the person who made riding a bicycle look cool. I mean, you see him riding the bicycle, whatever attire he is, and you're like, oh my God, that's very cool. So, an individual who has had that much of an impact in today's Sri Lankan society to make all of us want to ride bicycles is very well known as Coach Yasas to me as well. He's an individual who ensures to combine career growth, entrepreneurship with a lot of passion and endurance, and is also an athlete himself. Now, he is a cyclist and he loves to run organizations that promote these athletic abilities as well. Alongside Mr. Rajan, he is also the director of Serendip Multisport and another organizer of Ironman 70.3 Colombo. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Yasas Hevage.
Madam Mayoress, I pinched this book from your office. Colombo, 1865 to 1965. Dear Governor, we are going to write this now from 2026, forward and backwards at the same time. And Ironman 70.3 will, correct Rajan, we will take leadership of rewriting this under the banner of Active Colombo. So once again, thank you everyone. Thank you for being here. The reason we are standing here, as Rajan said, is because of you. Rajan and I have come a long way in this journey, and let's quickly have a look if the video this time works. It's our team who's doing all of this, right? So
and substance and meaning to traditional products and destinations, and those have been well marketed. This is the sports element has a huge potential in Sri Lanka because of all these assets we have. So we should be actually capitalizing on that. And the other beauty is that post tourism give you more revenue in terms of per tourist expenditure.
As Colombo City, we are very excited to be able to host Ironman. Sri Lanka did play host to Ironman back in 2019, but a lot has changed in the city, a lot has changed in the country, and this time around, we are able to host him once again.
But Ironman is back in Sri Lanka, February 22nd, after 6 years. What does it mean to us? It means many participants coming from all over the world to Colombo, spending almost a week of activities. And for me, as a government, it makes me quite an interesting proposition. We are going to work with various government bodies and agencies to make this happen. So this is a big breakthrough. That's why I started with people saying I'm excited about it. So Ironman is back, ladies and gentlemen.
This is Colombo, Sri Lanka. This is where the world comes to race. Over 2,000 years ago, Colombo stood at the heart of the ancient maritime Silk Road, where the East and West met and shook hands. What grew from this crossroad was more than just a trading hub. It became a living fusion of cultures woven into the vibrant city that never stopped moving. Today, Colombo welcomes a new generation of explorers, Ironman athletes, in a city where every corner tells a story. Swim in the warm waters of the Indian Ocean, bike and run on a flat and fast course passing historical monuments, cheering fans and coastal breeze. Colombo, your gateway to explore Sri Lanka. Nature is wild. It is scenic, adventurous, rich in culture, spiritual and fun. So come join us. Let's celebrate your wins. This is more than a race with a heart. This is Ironman 70.3 Colombo.
So let me first start by thanking the city. When a meeting starts, in the first 30 seconds you say, yes, we are doing it. That's the governor we have in this city. In 45 seconds, when the mayor says, we are already doing it, what do we do from now? Task force is set up. A city owns an event is a big game changer for us. Some of you don't understand what it means when we are organizing such complex the swim, the bike and the run, the road, the traffic. You know how difficult it is to connect the dots in a city like this for a global event. And so thank you one more time for both of you. Port City coming on board is a game changer for us. You and I know the city that we left in 2019 is not the city we have today. You just have to take a helicopter view of the buzzing fort, the Peta market, and then you see a future city being built, and the hotels have done their part, the clubs and the pubs and the restaurants. But how do you weave this together? And the inspiration the Port City is giving us is about how do you endure through a vision, a dream, to put a country in the world map. So having that as our home, we moved from our dear Galle Face, we haven't forgotten the Galle Face, to the Port City. As Rajan said, the run comes because we have to come to the core. But then Port City sets an unbelievable platform on which we can showcase a very different picture to the world. So thank you, Tulsi. Thank you, the Port City team. It's amazing to have you here. And we are so proud and excited to show this new visual to the world. The world hasn't seen this visual. So that's something very exciting. Needless to thank Shangri-La. I think my signature is the first signature in the banquet book in this hotel. Rajana is to come into this room and see, when will you start this? When Colombo was trying to figure out what Ironman was, Shang shook hands over a cup of coffee and said, we're doing it. Because they saw the dream. You got to believe in things. Ideas are like ghosts. If you don't believe in it, then you don't see them. Colombo needs more of that. Colombo needs more of that. Now everybody sees it, but it's about seeing it in 2017, seeing it before it's obvious. So the partners who are here are not just here because this is, as Rajan said, the branding exercise. I think they all see, I won't name you by name, but you all see what this canvas is going to be painted with. If you can spell Colombo backwards, I think it stands for resilience. I think that's what we're all about. So Iron Man is about that. The tagline for Iron Man is anything is possible. Anything is possible is true. Here we are. So can we move? I've got a few things to say. This map, the earlier one, is an important map. I know we've done a lot to take Sri Lanka to the world, but taking us to the active sports world and putting that map and Colombo back again is to say Colombo is ready, Colombo is here. 50 countries, 150 events. You search in the global map, the city is right there now. So where do we go from here? That's the picture, the visual that Colombo will build. So 2018-19, ladies and gentlemen, we took a vision of Sri Lanka as a country. I've ridden around this country 8 times, 9 times, top to bottom. I live on a bicycle. Someday you should do it. There's no other way to see this country apart from a bicycle. But then Colombo was like a revelation. Actually, that happened when we started dealing with the city to say, you know, Colombo should own this. Colombo needs the brand. Colombo needs a brand strategy. So that's where the visual that you see today, the brand identity, you can see we brought the symbolism. We have the Nelum Tower. We brought in that beautiful footbridge. If you say Nice, you know, France, you know, London, you know, Sigiri, you know, but you say Colombo, it's a little confusing. Colombo is running without a brand plan. But I'll tell you what Iron Man would do, will build the pillar of active part of this Colombo city. I think some of you will have to build the culture and our Navam Perahara. How do you make it a week of activity around it? How do you create the culinary part around it? We can't wait for policy alone to come. I think we together can build pillars of it and the world will know how to define Colombo. So moving on, let's get to business. We today celebrated another number saying Colombo hit the highest tourism number. Fantastic, which means the momentum is on our side. But if you're not strategic, we will keep counting numbers and we will, end of the day, lose the real plot. How do we get the spend back? What's the strategy? Iron Man is the catalyst for that. 2019, we showed it with proof with our research. The only research, at least I've seen, for sports tourism was conducted by us. When average spend at that time, data is always a challenge in this country, was $181. An Ironman athlete spent 2.5 times of that. In a city, we did not have a mall. In a city, you will not be able to buy a $300 pair of shoes. In a city, you can't buy a $7,000 bike. These guys come with open wallets to pay. And they come here and they spend 4 days. And we have tried to right now figure out how do we get 48 hours, 72 hours in Colombo. Here is how you do it. You got to build global linkages. You got to be strategic. You got to put your time and money and effort and resources where you win. Spraying and praying and hoping things happen, you know it hasn't worked, it won't work. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for giving the platform for us to exactly know how do we drive the spend required. The beauty of sports tourism is people are swimming, biking and running, which means every dollar trickles down from a Shangri-La right down to the vendor on the road. So that's the beauty. The number I want you to see is on the 42,000, nothing to spend. The upside is what do we build on retail? What do we build on experiences? So we'll bring the demand, the world will be here. 650 plus international athletes. We've just sold out, Colombo sold out, which means with families 1,500. They spend 4 days, they spend and they travel. And the dollar moves from a Shangri-La to Hirikatia. It moves into Jaffna. It moves all around the country. No guesswork. It's proven twice, 2018. Now we are back. So that's what you're supporting. You're supporting inclusive growth. You're supporting from every 4 corners of the country getting collected to the hub that we are building. So ladies and gentlemen, I think what you're doing is what Rajan said, nation building and inclusive economy for a country. So that's the economics of it. So Kaya, Colombo is what I'm going to talk about, but Ironman is not just one event. What we will build is a week of active lifestyle in Colombo. We have few weeks in Colombo. We have a fashion week for Colombo. This will be the active week. As you can see, people fly down from 12th to the 19th. Then we have expo in this exact place you are in on both sides, where Colombo will showcase the soul, the spirit of what Colombo has to offer. Why Port City is here is they also see some of them become investors who would see a new city they would love to live. It's winter over there. Bring your bike and train and live in this city. Hatch is here. You got co-working space. The community is here. This is a lovely place to just train and build your business from. Today, I think we've just got our digital nomad visas out. So that's integrating that strategy. So Kaya Colombo Expo, please go back. We'll go over 3 days and then we move into this beautiful event called Iron Kids. We'll talk about it later, then Iron Man. And then what happens is all these guys start traveling around the country and they come back. They come back for more, they come back for mice, they come back for investment, they come back for coconut, they come back for cinnamon. But we got to ensure that we showcase that to the world. That's the platform sports tourism builds. Right. So ladies and gentlemen, Kaya Expo is a new thing. We've done it before, but it'll be a lot more holistic for the city of Colombo and what Sri Lanka has to offer. Finally, Active Colombo. I've ridden in this city for over a decade. Every tree, every cloud, every shade is what makes us move. So this city has the potential to be the active city of the region that we live in. South Asia, I can boldly say that. So when we brought the two symbolism, that was very interesting. But this symbolism also shows that it's where people will swim, bike, run and walk. But as you go, that's the symbol we want to see. We want to see shade. I know it sounds like tree planting, right? No, it's not tree planting. Shade on the road means movement. Movement means people walk. People walk means MasterCard knows how to get the dollar into the micro SMEs. I'm ex-banker, by the way. That's how you create micro spend. Tap and go. We are not about moving from one hall to the other and then having a lifestyle. This is about movement. So that's where this symbolism should go. The future of Active Colombo should look like that. That's what we want to work with the mayor and the governor and all of you as partners. You know what Cinnamon Garden is. It was the garden city of Colombo built 100 years ago. I schooled there. You can't see the sun. You don't know it is. You can live there the whole day. And if you imagine that's what the Colombo we are going to build, it can be done very fast. There are many projects started and left over, Governor. If we can connect the dots, our private sector will do the rest. So we are with you 100% to make Colombo an active Colombo. And tree planting is great, but roadside tree planting is what moves people. And that means it moves the economy. So on that note, I think I am done. But one more thing, Serendip Multisport is what will change the game for this city. A calendar is being built. Ironman is one event. Ironman is a catalyst, but Colombo will become a hub for global world-class events. We are speaking with Powerman right now, a run, bike, run to bring it in. It's far more inclusive. Swimming is hard. I'm yet to learn. Rajan knows how to do it. But when you have a bike and a run, it's amazing. We will do more, a festival in this city, and then some of you know what we can do in cycling. All these are curated, beautiful events that Colombo has and this country has. So take it from us. We are back. Colombo is back. And thank you so much for being part of this amazing journey.
See, didn't I just tell you he'll make biking look cool? That's what Yasas does. So I think the both of them, the organizers of Ironman 70.3, both Rajan and Yasas, deserve a round of applause. You saw what sort of an economic growth we can bring into the country. The tiny injections where you might think may not matter will then trickle down into a vast waterfall. So that is the kind of change, that kind of growth that we want for Colombo. And ladies and gentlemen, you should be proud of yourselves. You're being a part of it. Now, of course, like Yasas and Rajan both mentioned, a key partner of this project is the Colombo Port City. and they are our wonderful presenting and venue partners. And to address on behalf of the Colombo Port City, I would like to cordially invite the Deputy Managing Director of Port City Colombo, Ms. Tulsi Alavihare.
Good evening, Governor of Western Province, Mayors of Colombo, invitees, Deputy Minister for Industries, invitees, guests, most of all athletes. We are really proud and delighted to partner with Ironman Colombo 70.3. Way back in 2018, when Yasas and team approached us, said, can we host Ironman? We were in the midst of reclamation. I told Yasas, yes, we can when we are ready. True to our word, 8 years later, here we are hosting Ironman 70.3 in Colombo, in Port City, a futuristic city, no doubt. For us, some of even my own colleagues ask me, what is it for us? Why is this? How do you connect sports and you're building a new city? As of course Rajan and Yasa said, there are many international athletes who will participate. This is just more than a race for us. It's a statement that we will make for the rest of the world to say, look, Sri Lanka is ready and open to host such events and also to showcase our progressive and growing infrastructure. Ironman also symbolizes resilience, courage, endurance. Those values, I think, very dearly mirrors to ours, where we are trying to build and shape a very ambitious city within Colombo, to uplift the profile of Colombo. To all the athletes, organizers, sponsors, well-wishers, I wish you all the very best, and more importantly, enjoy your race and be safe. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tulsi, for that. And also a small fun fact about Mr. Tulsi. He's also a triathlete himself. So perhaps maybe this year, the year after? Not this year, next year. Okay, so we have another participant for you for Ironman. Now can we please have a round of applause once again to Colombo Port City, our presenting and our venue partner. As you saw in all the presentations, ladies and gentlemen, Ironman 70.3 is just not another race. It's a race with a heart. It's got so many aspects that will aid Sri Lanka in its economic development, prosperity, and even lifestyle. It will change your lifestyle with all of the events that Serendip's Multisport has organized in the future. But another thing that they have decided to do is to recognize the individuals who spend their day and their nights and train themselves to protect us as a whole, not just Colombo, not just us, but rather the entirety of the country. And that special recognition is for our Sri Lankan Army, our Navy, our Air Force, and our police representatives. Now, Ironman 70.3 has obviously supported all the Triforces athletes and worked very, very closely with these individuals. And this time around as well, they have encouraged them to participate in Ironman 70.3, both female and both male athletes. To sort of celebrate this initiative, to celebrate the joining of the Ironman team and also the teams of Sri Lanka Army, Navy, Air Force, and police representatives, we have decided to celebrate them, recognize them through the path of Ironman 70.3. So ladies and gentlemen, we have representatives joining in from the Sri Lankan Army, Navy, Air Force, and the police representatives. Can we please have you gentlemen up on stage? along with our two organizers as well, as we want to take a quick photograph to commemorate this memory, to sort of remember where Ironman stood and how important it is to build these networks and relationship between the armed forces and of course Ironman as well. So ladies and gentlemen, first of all, can we please have a round of applause to the Sri Lankan Army, the Sri Lankan Navy, the Sri Lankan Air Force and the Sri Lankan Police. The most important thing about this, ladies and gentlemen, is that we know as Sri Lankans how important our Army, Navy, Air Force and our police representatives are. You know how strong they are. You know the sacrifices that they do. But rarely do they get the international recognition for the talents that they have got, not only in protection, but rather in sports as well. So this is an initiative that Ironman 70.3 has joined hands with the Tri-Forces to help them reach that international recognition. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause to our Tri-Forces, to the Sri Lankan Army, Navy, Air Force and the Sri Lankan Police. Thank you so much, ladies and gents. Now we move into introducing and welcoming and giving the stage away for an individual, as Rajan and Yasas mentioned, an individual who has now reshaped Colombo, who has enabled Ironman 70.3, the 2026 edition, to happen. In Yasas's own words, a person who agreed to do this in just a matter of 30 seconds during a meeting. And she, of course, has played a pivotal role alongside the Western Province Governor in setting up the event task force, which has immensely supported the Ironman event operations. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming a superwoman herself, our chief guest for the day, Mayor of the Colombo Municipal Council, Ms. Varay Balsa.
Thank you very much for that very kind introduction, Sanovi. And thank you for kind of setting the mood for today. I think you're doing an amazing job. I used to do her job, so I can only say that. I know how difficult that is. So good evening, ladies and gentlemen, to the Governor of the Western Province, a Deputy Minister, to Yasas and Rajan, and to the event organizers of Ironman, to the collaborators and partners, to government officials who are here today, partners, to the athletes, and of course to the media who will take the word out about Ironman. Thank you very much for being here. Today marks, I think, for us, a very important milestone for Colombo and for Sri Lanka. The launch of Ironman 70.3 Colombo is not simply the announcement of a sporting event, but rather a declaration for us, as we see it, of where our city is heading. After 6 years, we are proud to welcome back Ironman Global Series to Sri Lanka. On behalf of the Colombo Municipal Council, I extend our appreciation to Ironman management for once again deciding to do this event in our city, and of course on the international endurance sports map. We've already done so much, but to bring it back to our city, I think, is something really special to us. Your confidence in our city reflects our growing capacity, Yasas, as you very rightly pointed out, to host world-class events. And for that to happen, I think we need to be doing a lot more expansion. There's a lot more work that we need to put in to enable all of this to happen. I wish to also say thank you to the partners and the collaborators. This is no easy task to come on board. As Yasa said, you have to kind of dream big in order for things to happen. And I know the Ironman team has been dreaming big, and now we have to kind of, all of us are now called upon to get on board with that dream and that commitment. Your commitment and vision has transformed now into a reality. In a few days' time, we will see this. And I think this event stands as a strong example of the kind of meaningful experiences you can have through private and public collaboration, which is very important to us. For us, Ironman 70.3 Colombo represents something as I said earlier, which is much, much larger than a race. It aligns for us with our long-term vision of an active Colombo city, a city that encourages movement of social, economic, and environmental benefit. An active city, which is, I think, very much something that you talk about, means automatically it is a healthier city. Now, I know on our part, as a CMC, we have a department, and this is, I think I just want to share this piece of information. We have a department titled Sports and Recreation. And this is a department, we have many playgrounds, we have children's playgrounds. There are so many things that we have, but sadly, I think over the years, they haven't been really made very good use of. For us now to be able to rebuild these is as important. So I know we're talking about a global event, but as a CMC, we need to ensure that there's a lot of in-situ development, which also then encourages, as much as we're talking about global events, how do we encourage pockets in the city to also be interested in cycling, to be interested in sports, and to be interested in recreation. For the first time, we have included a little bit of money in our budget for recreation. And this comes from the governor, because for a long time, we've been talking about recreation, but there's been no budget set aside for recreation. So you have money set aside for sports, but not for recreation. So this time we have some music, also much needed and desired for the city. You need to have all these kind of activities coming together, not for only those who can afford, but for those who also can't afford, right? So this is our city. It is a very diverse city with those who have and those who don't. So how do we find a way to bridge that gap? When we host events of this nature, how do we ensure that we have a city that is that has equity, that has access to all? And I think these are the questions. Every time we talk of active cities, these are things that we want to build in. But to come back to a healthier city, I think that's what we're really aiming at. We need a city that's more productive and a city that is attractive to investors, to tourism, and to global talent. The governor has been really, I think, one of the most encouraging persons for us in particular as a CMC. When we talk of, I think, the plans for the city, and I know a lot of you in the audience, I can see you in the audience, who are trying to collaborate on tourism. Although it is not directly in our purview, I think for the CMC, it's very important we have a city that is unlike any other. So as the institution that manages the infrastructure for the city, I think we need to do our part to prepare for tourism. So what does that mean? We need more mobility. We need more pedestrianization. We have a city that is by any means one of the most incredibly beautiful. You have these incredible heritage buildings around the corner, which are now derelict and falling apart. Some of you have taken the time to, breathe life back into them. But what more can we do? When a tourist visits us through a global event such as this, Rajan, what do they see in the city? And I think these are the kinds of activities that we need to be thinking about. So thankfully, I think this is a direction that we can take forward. We have, I think, been in conversation with several collaborators, and we're hoping that this is something that we can do, that Colombo no longer is a place that you just drop in and is a kind of a pit stop before you take your next trip out. You're going to the south, you're going to the north, you're going to Polonnaru, you're going to Anuradhapura, but to see Colombo as its own thing, to see Colombo as its most incredible space, to be able to spend 2-3 days there, to spend 72 hours in the city, and to be able to see it in all its glory. I think that is our vision for the city, and the governor has been driving this. And as a CMC, we're prepared to also ensure that this is something that we also focus on. The Colombo Municipal Council, we're committed to strengthening public spaces, as I said, improving walkability, expanding cycling areas, and of course, as Yasas mentioned, quite intimidatingly with that wonderful book of our centenary, that what he was holding in his hand was a centenary volume of the CMC, and it looks back on the city till 1965, Yasas, right? And so we're looking at the years since, the years after, and how do we rewrite history? So the garden city, Patrick Geddes, for those of you who obviously are interested in architecture, you know that this has long been a conversation about building a garden city. And I think as the governor and as Yasa said, for us it's very important to be building a city that has a green alum. We already, I think, spend a lot of time in encouraging the growth of trees in the city. I know we're quite often known as in Sinhala, the term is Gas Kapananshe, right? Tree cutting division. But to be honest, the CMC spends a lot of time in growing trees in the city. And I think this is something that we can work on a lot more, and it's something that we're very committed to do. So reclaiming the garden city. How do we build garden cities, but not just only in the center, in the spaces that were mentioned here? How do we also build pockets of that alongside the whole city so that everyone gets, everyone has more access? And I think kind of expanding green corridors, revitalizing waterfronts, and creating a more vibrant place for the city is something that we are quite focused on. Globally, sports has proven that it has the power to shape cities. For instance, the Boston Marathon symbolizes resilience and international prestige, and we know, of course, that Tour de France has elevated regions into global destinations. Ironman events worldwide have built powerful endurance sports hubs that have high-value visitors, international media, and sustained economic activity. And we see that Colombo has the exact same potential. Ironman 70.3 will showcase our coastline, will showcase our hospitality, and our public spaces to a global audience. And it will, as has been mentioned before, will stimulate hotels, restaurants, transport providers, and very importantly, small businesses, right? The fact that this will go back to small businesses is equally important to us. Most importantly, it will inspire our youth to see sports as not just a competition, but also as a lifestyle. It's not just a one-day event, and as we see it is something, it is very important for the city going forward. And I think it's a catalyst for healthier citizens, for stronger communities, for sustainable development, and of course, for global recognition. Through partnerships like this, Colombo is sending a very clear message. We are open, we are dynamic, and we're building a city that is designed for people first. We look forward to working closely with Ironman and to the sponsors and to the community that's really being focused on delivering this successful and impactful event. I thank you once again. I feel like it is, I think, our honor and privilege to be able to work alongside you. And hopefully we will have, yes, I'm going to use this space to say that we will have many more opportunities. Ironman is one such opportunity, but hopefully we will have many more opportunities to work with those of you in the room and those of you who are interested in building the city that I think we've been dreaming of. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Madam Mayor. I think the audience that we have today here with our dear Governor, our Mayor, and of course, marking the presence of the Deputy Minister of Industries and Entrepreneurship Development in our audience as well, Mr. Chaturanga Singh is also here. I think quite influential individuals who can shape our nation, who will start with the shaping of Colombo and thereafter the greater cities of Sri Lanka. Now, ladies and gentlemen, while we honor and we celebrate the launch, we should also recognize our wonderful sponsors. Like our speakers mentioned, our sponsors played a pivotal role in ensuring today was possible, to ensuring an entire active week was possible. A lot of trust has been put through with the team of Ironman 70.3, and to bring in a concept, to dream big, and to believe in one another is truly great. So ladies and gentlemen, we're here to now recognize all of our sponsors and our partners who made Ironman 70.3 2026 Colombo possible. And to do so, I would like to cordially invite our wonderful organizers, both Yasas and Rajan, on stage, alongside our governor, the governor of the Western Province, Mr. Hasif Yusuf. Please come up on stage, alongside our mayor, the chief guest as well for today, the mayor of Colombo Municipal Council, Ms. Maria Baltasar. Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause to our wonderful dignitaries. And now we begin by celebrating and recognizing our amazing sponsors and partners. To begin with, to represent Shangri-La Colombo, our host hotel, please welcome Ms. Berg, the General Manager, and also Mr. Charanka Mendes, Director, Communications. Please join us on stage as we thank you for your partnership, as we thank you for your belief in us, and thank you to making Ironman 70.3 possible. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, once again. Shangri-La Colombo, our host hotel, was our host hotel in 2018, 2019, and back again in 2026. A partner who shares a common vision for the city as an active Colombo. Host of all Ironman Global Team, organizes VIPs, Kaya Colombo Expo, and supports the awards and after party as well, all the way from the 19th of February to the 22nd of February. Ladies and gentlemen, once again to our host hotel, Shangri-La Colombo. Now, Shangri-La Colombo and the team has also organized something special. We're doing something different as well. They have been so kind to draw a raffle for us. And the participants of this raffle is actually all of the athletes who have joined in, who have signed up for Ironman 70.3. So over to you, the wonderful general manager of Shangri-La Colombo. Let your lucky draw go through. Can we please have him pick the name of the athlete who will be winning a wonderful prize courtesy of Shangri-La Colombo? Quite exciting. Also, this raffle draw is open to all participants, and flying down to Colombo will be athletes coming from all over the world. And yet, through the wonderful lucky hand of our general manager of Shangri-La Colombo, a Sri Lankan has become victorious. And the very first, or rather the raffle draw prize from Shangri-La Colombo goes to Sujani Bugulagama. Now, let's applaud, let's congratulate. Now, the prizes will be awarded later on as the organizing team will be contacting the athletes. So we've got one prize winner. Congratulations to Sujani Bugulagama. We're going for 4 more. The excitement continues, ladies and gentlemen. Our second winner. We've got a victor coming all the way from Great Britain, ladies and gentlemen. A round of applause. Our next winner is James Parton. Lucky winner number 3, also coming in from Sri Lanka. Congratulations to Jamak Melvani. I've got 3 winners. 3 winners. 2 from Sri Lanka, 1 from Great Britain. Okay, 2 more. Okay, I've got winner number 4 and winner number 5. Winner number 4 for the Shangri-La raffle draw alongside Ironman 70.3 is, all the way from India, Logesh Yuvaraj. Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. And our final winner of the raffle draw is from Sri Lanka. The 5th winner is Peter Nixon Joseph. Round of applause to all of our winners, since some of them are out of the country, some of them are from our wonderful island. The organizing team will get in touch with these winners and ensure these raffle draw prizes are given to them. So the Shangri-La team can be rest assured. Thank you so much for joining. Once again, a round of applause to the Shangri-La team, our host hotel. And now we move on to recognizing and thanking our travel partner. And to represent our travel partner, I would like to cordially invite Mr. Nalaka Amaratunga, the CEO of Walker Tours, and Mr. Sandeep Jayawardena, Senior Manager of Walker Tours. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause to our travel partner, Walker Tours. Walker's Tours, established in 1969 and part of the John Keel's Group, is recognized as Sri Lanka's leading destination management company. With over 5 decades of expertise, authentic, sustainable, and world-class travel experiences, they curate wonderful destination trips all across the island. So ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause to our travel partner, Walker's Tours. And now, to recognize our confidence partner for Ironman 70.3, ladies and gentlemen, representing Rexona from Unilever Sri Lanka, please welcome Mr. Migara Kimbege, Category Head of Oral and Deo, Mr. Heshan Balasurya, Junior Brand Manager for Deo and Ayush Oral, and Ms. Charma Silva, Marketing CSP and Media Director for Personal Care. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome representatives from our confidence partner, Rexona. Rexona will stand by the athletes with protection that works as hard as they do, letting them sweat, move, and perform with confidence. Rexona will remind us to own your sweat, where every drop of sweat tells a story of endurance, passion, resilience, as athletes push beyond their limit. And now, in every race, ladies and gentlemen, it's very important that we have a really good medical partner. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for our medical partner, Asiri Health. And now, to represent Asiri Health, I would like to cordially invite Ms. Roshani Senanayaka, the Head of Marketing, and Dr. Hasanti Iddamalgoda. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, for our medical partner, Asiri Health. Asiri Health has been our medical partner since 2018, being in the medical and emergency care expertise to bring world-class protocol for world-class international event which covers the sea, the land, and the road. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause to our medical partner, Asiri Health. You know, next time for the launch of Ironman, Yasas and Rajan, maybe we should have like a competition for the audience. Since we are celebrating athletes, I feel like we need more energy when it comes to the applause as we are thanking our wonderful partners. So once again, a round of applause, please, ladies and gentlemen, for the partners who are up on stage. Thank you so much. Let's keep the energy going as well, because we need you to be this strong and this hyped up about Ironman throughout the week, because it's active week. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we will now recognize our workspace partner. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Jeevan Yan, the founder of Hatchworks, and Mr. Suresh Patrina, the CEO, and Mr. James Randall, the head of business development, our workspace partner, Hatch. The center of gravity of all things startup, Hatch is Sri Lanka's award-winning co-working space, startup incubator and accelerator dedicated to fostering entrepreneurship and innovation, connecting with vision for active Colombo with Ironman. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, a round of applause to our workspace partner, Hatch. With over a decade of cycling around, across, and in all four corners on Sri Lanka, the official bicycle Winkale, my God, my bad. The official bicycle Winkale of Colombo, the bike mechanic partner of Ironman 70.3 Colombo for the third consecutive time, is Spinner, our mechanical partner. Ladies and gentlemen, to represent Spinner, we welcome Ms. Nomesha Pereira and Ms. Lucy. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause to Spinner, our mechanical partner. Yes, I was extra happy for that one. All right, next, our refreshment partner. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Veera Coco. And to represent Veera Coco, we would kindly request Ms. Lakshika Udavatta, the head of brands and business development of Silver Group, and also Mr. Asian Kanangara, the brand manager of Veera Coco. Ladies and gentlemen, Veera Coco, our refreshment partner. Veera Coco's partnership with Ironman 70.3 Colombo is proudly represented by Silver Mill Natural Beverages Private Limited, the licensed manufacturer and distributor of Veera Coco coconut water for Sri Lanka and Maldives. Refreshment is all covered for our athletes, all thanks to Vina Coco. I think they deserve a refreshing round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Here's to our refreshment partner, Vina Coco. When it comes to any athlete, what they usually want is endurance, their ability to power through, and also a good-looking fit that is also functional. So coming in as our activewear partner for Ironman 70.3, ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Carnage. Now, ladies and gentlemen, representing Carnage, please welcome the director and founder, Mr. Joel Tirakaratne. Carnage is Sri Lanka's #1 active and lifestyle brand and will be in the backs of athletes, organizers and volunteers and create merchandise available at the Kaya Colombo Expo for all to experience. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for our active wear partner, Carnage. We've got the t-shirt as well, ladies and gentlemen. I think that deserves another round of applause to help our athletes power through to look fabulous while doing that as well. Here's to our activewear partner, Carnage. In any race, in any case, wherever, whenever, hydration is very important. And therefore, ladies and gentlemen, joining in as our water partner for Ironman 70.3 is Olu Tropical Water. So ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Olu Tropical Water, our water partner. And to represent our water partner, Olu Tropical Water, please welcome Ms. Dilmini Vergam, the group CEO, also Ms. Shalindri Malawana, the General Manager for Liquid Island. Ladies and gentlemen, our water partner, Olu Tropical Water. Olu Tropical Water brings in natural mineral water sourced from the rare cloud forest of Sri Lanka, which tells the story of goddesses and sustainability to the world. We'll be at a run and at bike stations, at race and all along Active Colombo Week. Ladies and gentlemen, our water partner, Olu Tropical Water. By the looks of it, the audience once again requires Olu Tropical Water. I mean, come on. Active Week, ladies and gents. When you move out of the room, you should be ambassadors of this. To be active throughout the week, not just that week, but to be active throughout Colombo. I feel like the energy is getting drained and I don't like it. So another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Or else I will bring water to you. And now to our electronic media partner, Sirius TV and Yes FM. And to represent Sirius TV and Yes FM, please welcome Mr. Chanaka Vikramasuriya, Mr. Manuel Fernando, the channel head of Yes FM, and Mr. Indika Jayamaha, the head of advertising. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome representatives of Sirius TV and Yes FM, our electronic media partner. Really? Louder, louder. Come on. You can clap louder. Sirius TV and Yes FM have been with Ironman 70.3 Colombo since 2018, ladies and gentlemen, and they're back for the third year. With that, of course, we would like to thank our dear Governor who has joined in for today's celebrations. Can we please have a round of applause to this wonderful gentleman who's making the vision of Colombo a reality. Thank you so much. Moving in from our electronic media partner, we go to our print and digital media partner. Ladies and gentlemen, Ironman 70.3 has Vision Newspapers as our print and digital media partner. Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, to Vision Newspapers. And to represent Vision Newspapers, I would like to cordially invite Ms. Mifra Sadiqeen, representative of WNL from The Sun and host of Race the Bar, and also Indika Jayamaha, the head of advertising for Vision Newspapers Limited. And they too have been with Ironman 70.3 Colombo since 2018, the third year that they're joining hands with us. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Ironman seems like it's for adults. It is for adults. But there's another part that we will be talking about in just a bit of time, and that is Iron Kids. Now, to join in as a title sponsor for Iron Kids for this year, please welcome our title sponsor for Iron Kids, Kotmale. Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. And to represent Kotmale, we have the head of marketing, Mr. Tamal De Silva. Kotmale, as you know, ladies and gentlemen, sources the freshest milk from local dairy farmers, crafting products of uncompromised quality. Through this, Kotmale empowers communities and safeguards the environment, proving that nourishing our nation is more than milk. It is about people, purpose, and a sustainable future. Ladies and gentlemen, our title sponsor for Iron Kids, Kotmale. Would you look at the very, very tiny jersey they've got? From the Iron Man jersey for a miniaturized version, this is the official jersey for the Iron Kids. Up next, we will be recognizing a volunteer partner. Now, these set of individuals, who I am a very proud member of also, has been servicing not only in Colombo, but also all across Sri Lanka, ensuring that community service comes first before everything else. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause to our wonderful road tractors, who will be our volunteer partners for Ironman 70.3. And to represent our road track community, I would like to cordially invite Road Tractor Suhaib, Road Tractor Boso, and Road Tractor Yasiru. It's an athletic week. It's come a bit fast. We have road tractors, we have young energy. All right, so Road Tract has been joining in with Ironman since 2018. A wonderful 3-year relationship. The life, the blood, and the soul, the rage, ease of our volunteers get raving reviews of participants from all over the world. They truly commit to what they're supposed to. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause to our wonderful road tractors, who will be our volunteer partners. Thank you so much to our road tractors. For Ironman 70.3, we have a cinema partner. So ladies and gentlemen, introducing our cinema partner, please give it up for Scope Cinemas. And to represent Scope Cinemas, we have Ms. Chassie Cortez, the Group General Manager of Marketing, and Mr. Naveed Khadar, the Executive Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause. Let's have Mr. Naveed Khadar come up on stage as well. Okay. Representatives from Scope Cinemas, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Scope Cinemas blends in endurance and entertainment, creating an experience for all visitors to enjoy in the city of Colombo with friends and family. Another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, to Scope Cinemas, our cinema partner. Now, ladies and gentlemen, for any race, anywhere, even in our daily lives, we require a lot of energy. And so, our energy drink partner for Ironman 70.3 is Ride Real Energy. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, to our energy drink partner. And to represent Ride Real Energy, we have Ms. Ashini Vijayakun, the marketing manager, alongside Ms. Arjuna Kumar Singha, the managing director of Karkat's Food and Beverages Private Limited. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, to Ride Real Energy, our energy drink partner. Ride Energy Drink folds every stride and every finish, powering performance at Ironman 70.3 Colombo at all the Run 8 stations. Now this needs to be a very energized applause, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for our energy drink partner, Ride Real Energy. One of the key things that caught my attention when Yasas was mentioning about what the agenda is for the week is the after party. All the amazing athletes coming in, putting in their very best, pouring their blood, sweat and tears, making it to the finish line what we really need is a good after party. And now our after party partner for Ironman 70.3 is Bellevue. So ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause to Bellevue, our after party partner. And to represent the wonderful organization, here is Mr. Nuan Pereira, the director. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause to our after party partner, Bellevue. Now, courtesy of our after-party partner, they will create a memorable celebration under the Colombo evening skies in the backdrop of the Indian Ocean and Colombo skyline, making it a very memorable event for all of our athletes joining in. And now we have a special mention to our hydration and our nutrition partner. They're all the way from India and they are making a quick partnership with us. Once again, building bridges between nations to support sportsmanship, to celebrate athleticism with one another. So ladies and gentlemen, let's please give a round of applause to Univet, who is not present right now, but is all the way from India. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Univet, our hydration and nutrition partner. Univet provides endurance athletes with research-based and scientifically formulated supplements designed for peak performance and recovery. Can we please have another round of applause for them, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you so much for our organizers and our mayor for being so patient and staying on stage as we celebrate all of our sponsors. A round of applause for them as well, ladies and gentlemen, to making sure that all of these connections come through. Thank you so much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a special word for all of our beloved sponsors. So kindly, if you can direct your attention towards the screen as we hear a message from all of our sponsors.